Hi guys, Brian here with Chris at the BBK R&D facilities in Temecula, California. Today we're going to be bolting on what I think is one of our coolest new products. It's our 73mm Black Billet Series throttle body. It's for the new 2017 and up Ford Raptor, a truck I would definitely like to drive home today, but I can't, seeing it's not mine. This truck, as you guys know, makes 450 horsepower from the factory. But being a boosted application, throttle body becomes a big restriction. I know we made a lot of horsepower on this, Chris.
We sure
did.
Can
you tell me a little bit about how this compares to the stock?
The stock application on this is a 68 millimeters. So since we're running a 73mm throttle body, we're getting about 30% better flow because it's boosted. Okay. So we're getting gains about 20 plus horsepower, and we're also getting 20 plus foot-pounds of torque as well.
Now, what RPM range is that at?
That's during the mid-range on this truck.
Okay, and that is, like all of our other BBK throttle bodies, works with the factory tune and it comes complete with the new electronics?
That's correct. It's a direct bolt-on replacement. There's no need for a tune, just like all our other throttle bodies out on the market. You're gonna bolt it on, you're gonna plug it in, and you're gonna go. Okay, awesome. And then just so you guys know, we went to this Black Billet Series a few years back, and one of the reasons is for the boosted applications, it's super strong. It's very light, and being billet, you know, it gives you a really cool look with the anodized finish. So, really Chris, cool. We're going to go ahead and let the guys follow you along as we do a step-by-step install. I'm going to get back to trying to sell some parts, but he's going to show you how easy this thing is. It should take about 15-20 minutes. Regular hand tools. There's not even a gasket, correct? Correct. It just uses a stock gasket on the manifold.
Cool. Okay, appreciate it. So for this and more information, guys, be sure to check out our website at bbkperformance.com. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks. All right, our first step is to disconnect the negative battery terminal. We're gonna loosen this 10mm bolt on here. I'm gonna take the battery terminal, you can just wiggle it off and set it to the side, and we do this with all of our installations. Moving on to the throttle body, we're gonna disconnect our wiring harness. We're gonna unclip this little safety clip here. Give this tab a little squeeze and you can just pull it right off and just let it sit here off to the side. Next, we're going to move on to disconnecting or loosening the clamp on the throttle body that connects the inlet tube to the throttle body. And you want to loosen this up quite a bit because of our throttle body being bigger than the stock one. You want this hose to be able to stretch over the BBK throttle body. Next, we're going to move on to removing the 4 bolts that secure the throttle body to the intake manifold. So just loosen those guys up and pull the bottom ones out. It's a little bit of a tight fit in there, but once you get them loosened up, you can just get your finger in there and pull them out. And this one I had already loosened up. So we're going to take this one. With the lower bolts removed, now you can remove the upper bolts. These are 8mm. These bolts will be reused to reinstall the BBK throttle body onto the truck. And also a side note on these, for some reason these bolts from the factory, they are really tight. I don't know why, but they are. So if you're having trouble with getting these bolts off, rest assured they will come off. You might have to use a little leverage. Just be careful not to over torque them when reinstalling them because you don't want to do anything to the intake manifold. Now we're going to go ahead and remove these upper bolts. And then taking the throttle body, you can pull it this way. You're going to tilt it up and then pull it back. Tilt it up, pull it back, get it loose from the clamp of the hose, and hold back on this tube and get it out of the way. And that's your throttle body removal. Now we're going to go ahead and install the BBK 73mm Black Billet Series throttle body. All right, we're going to go ahead and install the throttle body here. What I'd like to do is kind of grab it at this angle so that way I can push it into here to get it down. And what you're going to want to do is actually get it inside the hose like that, so that way you can line up the throttle body here. Go ahead and install your 4 bolts. And remember, these bolts will only be snugged down. They don't need to be torqued down all crazy because the manifold is plastic. With all the bolts started and in place, you can go ahead and tighten them all down. I'm gonna finish tightening this last one on here. These I would recommend tightening down to the factory specs. Now with the throttle body secured to the intake manifold, we're gonna go ahead and install the wiring harness for the throttle body and tighten the clamp on the inlet tube. Now we're gonna install the wiring harness to the factory electronics. These come new and installed onto the BBK throttle body. Push down a little red tab, secures it in place. We're gonna tighten up the clamp on the inlet tube to the throttle body. And just make sure it's pretty snug. All right, now we just gotta hook up our negative battery terminal and we'll be good to go. Reconnect the negative battery terminal. Wiggle it on there. We're gonna tighten this down. Now keep in mind, this is a direct bolt-on. You will not have to do a throttle body relearn on this. Now, if you wanna go outside of the box and get a tuner, you can do all that stuff, but as far as this, you will only need to be able to bolt it on. And that's it.